Maybe I'll just put this right on my mat. Make sure that your feet touch the ground in your chair. You don't want to be floating. So you can stick a book or something or a pillow underneath your feet if they don't reach. It's not illegal to have floating feet, but it's a little more grounded and easy to do the things that we're doing without feet floating. Okay. Then let your hands rest on your thighs, palms up or down. You might close your eyes if that feels good to you, or you could at least just let the lids feel a little relaxed. Thank you for showing up this evening to practice and to just give yourself time away from all the other stuff. We get to be right here in our bodies with our breath. Just allow your body to breathe. It might be the first time that you have paused today to notice your inhales and your exhales. Maybe your shoulders and your head need a little bit of a wiggle. Just letting go of today and coming to right now. And you are more than welcome to be seated here with your own breath, just inhaling and exhaling, no special pattern, just allowing your body to breathe. Otherwise, I will direct you in a pranayama, a breathing practice. It will help you to use your imagination and you can visualize. But we'll think of the torso from the shoulders to the hips like a rectangle. So the shoulders down to the hips, and you have this rectangle shape. And the first breath that we'll think about is breathing into the front and back of the rectangle. So you might even put a hand on your belly and on your low back if that feels good. And you'll try to breathe forward and back. So filling up in that direction. If it stresses you out, do not let that happen. Just let that go and just breathe. It's helpful to relax the belly, which we're also not good at these days, right? Because we've been taught to suck it in and rip it and shred it and crunch it. But here we soften because breath is beautiful. Breathing into the front and the back of the rectangle. If you have a cranky low back, which I do sometimes, you can actually imagine the breath making space there, as if you could kind of spread out the low back up and down and side to side. So there's extra room for love and feel good. And then we'll move the hands, or not, to the sides. And we're going to breathe into the sides of the rectangle. So the waist, the rib cage. Think about breathing outward, horizontally. Again, if this hurts your brain, just relax and breathe. There's not a test. You might try a few feeling with the hands and then let the hands rest, still breathing into the sides. And our third and final part will be breathing up and down, the length of the rectangle. So maybe hand on belly, hand on heart or chest. And we try not to lift the shoulders to do it, but we imagine the breath filling up and emptying out, and vertical up and down, the long way of our rectangle. Couple more breaths up and down. And you can just release the visualization of the rectangle and let your body breathe, but maybe with more awareness on your body, on your breath. And bring your hands to touch in front of your heart, or you can stack them on your heart. And send some goodness out into the world from your heart outward. We can send it to each other in our class, to our community, and beyond. And release your hands, softly blink your eyes open, and we'll take chin to chest, and then one ear toward one shoulder. We'll start with some half circles, chin back to the chest, and then ear to the other shoulder. Slow and steady. I always remember when I'm doing this, one of my teachers in 2010 said, it's like drawing a smiley, a smile with the crown of your head when you do these half circles. It's a nice visual. Now you might continue with these half circles. And some of you may want to go all the way around looking up at the sky, but keep your neck long. Even though the head is heavy, you don't want to just drop it back. Keep a lot of space in your cervical spine, your neck spine. You can look up, make a wish on a star. Do your best not to rush. And if you're doing a full circle, you can switch direction. And maybe one more time. If you've had enough, of course, just come back to neutral and rest. Next time you are with chin to chest, pause. Take a deep breath. And then bring your head back up to neutral. And now we'll do a different kind of circle with our nose. So just the nose is drawing a circle. This one is very challenging for me to go slowly. I just want to buzz around. So don't follow me. Do a nice slow circle. And then you can switch direction. It's not as big of a movement. And then come back to center. Your arms can still, hands rest on thighs, or you can let your arms hang down, and we'll do some shoulder rolls. Now, sometimes it's nice to come forward in the chair, so you just have a lot of room to allow movement of your shoulder blades. So this is what's happening. This one and this one, that's what we're moving in relationship to the rib cage, which is why sometimes it feels kind of sticky. But if we can practice these movements, then we can create a little more ease. And switch direction. Try to allow the arms to relax. Shoulders doing the work. And let's go back to the first direction, and maybe you do one and then the other. This is very fancy. Some of you know what's coming because you take my class a lot, so I know you're already excited about it. Okay, now you can take or try one shoulder in one direction and the other the opposite direction. What a hot mess, but the shoulders and the brain are working. And you see I'm twisting now, like everything's just gone cattywampus. Forward and back, and then just release. Shake it out. Shake it out. Let all of that go. Sit back in your chair. Take just a moment, awareness on your shoulders and your neck. And bring your awareness now into your spine. So, some cats, cows, seated. There's a couple ways to do this. Definitely, I like some space behind my body. I'll turn sideways so you can see. You can stay forward. So, sometimes nice to do a cactus arm. So, you arch, this would be your cow shape, and then your cat shape is rounded, and you draw your forearms together. And you don't have to make it as big as you can. It can be just a nice lengthening and a rounding. The other way is perhaps using your hands on your legs or your knees, because you can use that as leverage, kind of a stable grounding. And maybe it helps you find a deeper stretch if that's what you're going for. Notice your breathing. Usually we inhale for the cow shape and we exhale for this cat shape, but you can change it up. Let's do one or two more, or if it feels better to just pause, then you do that. Rest is always a good option. And then you come back to neutral. Holy, that awareness on our spine, so good. Low back, upper back, probably the neck again. Even the pelvis got to move a little bit. Thank you to your back. And then let's make just a few Sufi rolls, just some circles, small or big. And switch direction. And come back to center. Let's pause and just take a moment. What we don't allow ourselves to do enough, or I often don't, and maybe you can relate to that. It's okay to do this, to stop and to breathe. For side bending, you can have your arms by your sides or on the thighs. Again, there's a lot of Skudasana in chair yoga, so I hope that doesn't bother you. You have to forward and back and side to side. So for side bending, one arm reaches and then the other. This is nice with one hand down, or if it's comfortable, you can have the arms down by the side of your chair. I have this handy chair leg and I can use that. So no one took me up on my offer. I do have a few of these spectacular yoga chairs that I've made. And if you would like one, I mean, I can't drive to San Diego, but I think you're all local. I could drop a chair off for you if you want a slippery, slidey, glamorous yoga chair. Continue going side to side, or if it feels great in your body, maybe stop and you pause on one side. And you might even take a peek up and see what's going on up there. Or maybe you look down. And then you'll switch sides, holding if you're doing that, maybe looking down or looking up. Nice breath into the side body. And coming back up. Just pause for a moment, and then you don't have to do the scoot, but you can just pause here, feeling yourself grounded and tall. All right, are you ready? We're going swimming. So this is a twist and a swim. One arm twisting, one arm going back, and then up and over to the other side. So it's kind of like the crawl. If this does not make your arms happy, you can twist side to side. Otherwise, the arm comes up and goes across the body. And then the other arm, make it your very own. You can make it like a jazz hand. Really dramatic, or maybe very small. It feels good and safe in your body. And just a few hundred more. And if you'd like, let's hold. Hold one side of your twist. Take a nice deep breath, filling all the way up, emptying all the way out, and then switching sides, holding for a deep breath in and full exhale out. Back to center. So we have one more thing seated. I'm going to give a couple of options. So thread the needle is kind of where we're going with the left leg on top. If this is too much in the chair, then just perhaps cross the left leg on top of the right. Okay? See what's available for your hip and for your leg. And wherever you are, we'll circle the left ankle a few times in each direction. Sitting tall, I suppose you could do Scoottasana to the back of the chair now if you'd like. Switching direction with your left ankle. And let your ankle rest, but scrunch and spread your left toes. Scrunching and spreading. Good. Let your foot rest. Stay tall, or some of you may want to play with leaning forward a little bit. Keep your spine long and see where you feel that. So the left leg is on top. Most likely it's a little more intense on the outer left hip. I should show you this way. So like hip and buttocks, which we worked a lot on Tuesday. Yeah. Deep breath, fill up. Deep, deep, deep inhale and open your mouth. Exhale. Ha, let it go. And then we'll switch sides, coming back to the tall shape and deciding right leg crossing or maybe into this thread the needle shape. Sitting tall or leaning back in your chair, still tall, but scooting back, I should say. And then right ankle circles. And switching direction. Letting your ankle rest and scrunching and spreading out the toes. Funny, sometimes I find it easier if I look at the toes, but I'm going to try to look away and close my eyes. Scrunching and spreading just a couple more times. Let your foot rest. Stay tall, or it's basically a hinge at the hips. Spine stays long as you lean forward. And if this is too much, you change your mind and go back. Big, deep breath in, fill up your whole body and open your mouth. Exhale. And we'll come back up and release the right leg. Pausing, breathing, checking in. Beautiful. So we come up to stand or not. I have a couple of options for the things that we're doing. 3 things. Standing, but if you'd rather sit, excuse me. The first one is tree pose. So I will show it seated and standing. If you're seated, you straighten one leg and then you can take the other leg kind of off to the side, or if it's comfortable, you could do a little cross. So you create the tree leg shape and then your hands come to your heart, or you can grow your branches. Okay, you make the tree. Trees are all different, folks, right? So if it doesn't look like the tree on the cover of the yoga magazine, that's okay. If you'd like to stand up for a tree, you can use your chair for balance. We'll have the left leg, the standing leg, and then you'll bend the right leg and you'll turn it out. You can keep your right toes on the ground, or you can bring your foot up a little bit. You can bring one hand to your heart. If balance feels amazing, maybe you bring 2 hands to your heart. And P.S., I'm cheating. My knee is like, hello, balancing with the chair. So maybe you figured that out. You can do that too. Maybe you grow your branches. Hello, beautiful trees. What is your tree? What is your tree today? Palm tree, willow tree, pine tree, birch tree, apple tree. Deep breath in. Feel the left foot rooted down if you're standing, and you grow from there. And then hands to your heart and release. Bring the right leg and release. Now I want to show if you need a little more balance, you could use the whole chair. Okay, we're going to be standing on the right. The left leg bends and turns out. So the left toes can stay down, but now I have both hands on the chair. I should have shown this on the first side, but there's so many ways to do it. This is why I like this wild yoga chair, because you can do things like stick your leg in there and have your hand down here, and then hand to the heart perhaps, maybe both, maybe growing your branches. And if you're seated, you are making your very own beautiful tree shape, and you're breathing and visualizing what is the tree and thanking the tree, because the tree breathes out and we breathe in. Hands coming to the heart. Releasing your arms, bringing the left leg back and releasing. Keep your chair handy for balance, but let me show if you're seated. We're hovering one foot, so this is a little bit about balance. If you're seated, it will be a lot of good work for your hip as well, because you have to use the hip flexors and all that good stuff in the hip crease to lift the leg a little bit. Okay, use your chair as much as you need. Left leg is standing, right foot is hovering. Now, if you're feeling very sassy today, you could certainly lift the leg up and see how that feels. That will give us the same kind of work feeling as if you were sitting in the chair lifting the leg. It's a lot of work. We have a few more breaths here. Whoa. And right leg down. Rooting down through the right. Left hovering, barely off the ground, the left foot. Using your chair as much as you want. Maybe lifting the left leg. I'm showing everything late today. When you lift, if you're lifting, make sure you don't lift by sticking your pelvis forward. So you want to keep the Tadasana shape. Pelvis, rib cage, head, and then you lift from there. So stay tall. Woo, this side's different. Yes, I see some feeling like me with my arms. It's a little breezy in my house. Couple more breaths here. Very nice work. And release. Good. If you're standing, a little Shakasana feels good after that. A little shaking of the leg. Okay, for seated, we're doing around the world with the arms. You can grab a slipper or a blanket or a pillow. You're basically going to try to take it around your chair. If you don't like that idea, just imagine, take something around. And if you're standing, you're in your Tadasana and you're going around your body with a prop or not. Anything you have handy. I mean, this is a beautiful part of our practice. We're around the house. I can look and I could go grab my butter dish. And here we're talking to the shoulder blades again. Think each time you reach back, let the shoulder blades come closer together. That's nice. A good amount of work for your upper back and opening and stretching across the chest. Let's switch direction. And I promise, yes, we're coming down after this. Okay, one more time around the world. Ooh, thank you. Thank you, pillow. All right. So let's come down, but let's put our legs on the chair so that we'll be in a nice inversion and it will feel relaxing. If that does not sound like a good idea, just lie down. Totally okay. So you'll have something to support your head and your neck. To get your legs on the chair is the same as getting the legs up the wall. You have to get close. You have to get close to the chair and come down, and then your legs are close to lift up. And then you can adjust your pillow. Ah, that's nice. A lot of work. Oh my goodness. I'm happy to see that you're still here. Make sure you're muted as we make our way down into chill land. Chillax asana. We'll end up in shavasana. And when you do arrive, just let your body breathe. Give yourself some time to just show up right here. Legs supported, back supported, and head supported. Let your arms rest wherever they feel comfortable. The other day we did a body scan. You might just check in right now with your body because we were speaking with the feet and the ankles and the legs and the hips and the spine and the arms and shoulders and hands and our neck and our head. You may like to take a deep in breath and open your mouth, letting go, making some sound for your out breath. And like we did with our toes, we'll bring awareness to our fingers now, and you can make a little gentle fist and then spread your fingers out. Make a little fist and spread your fingers out. Just a couple more. And release, let your hands rest. You can do single arms or double arms. Single would be one arm going up and over, and then coming back down by your side. And then the other arm. Doesn't matter if you touch the floor, you go wherever it feels good. Maybe it feels nice to do both arms at the same time. I like palms facing each other. You don't have to do it that way, but that helps my shoulder joint feel happy about this movement. So explore, be curious. Lots of opportunities for being sassy tonight. So here's another one. You might do a pattern, single arm, and then single arm, and then double arm. And then back to singles. And just a couple more. If you're doing singles, make sure that you feel even, like you've done each side, an even amount. And then we'll pause. Maybe in cactus arms, opening, nice stretch across the shoulder and the chest. Taking 3 more breaths here. You can stay here if you feel really content. Otherwise, gently, just gently hug your right leg in. Let your left leg stay supported on the chair. Hugging your right leg in. You can hold the shin or behind the thigh, wherever it's comfortable. And release. Switch sides. and release. We're going to do one more thing, and you can do it with legs on the chair and stay here for Shavasana. If you've had enough of legs on your chair, then you can set yourself up. Another good thing about this chair is that I could just take my legs underneath it. So you can transition into your Shavasana shape, either lying down or keeping your legs on your chair. And we'll do one more little thing for our neck, which I love and I call woe is me, but actually it's hallelujah for this neck feel good. Just give everybody a moment to get situated. And then you just take one hand and you bring it onto your forehead. Really, woe is me would be upside down, but we are palm on the forehead. And then you gently move your head side to side so your neck is completely relaxed. Your hand and your arm guide your head, a very gentle push and pull. It is really, really gentle. Let your whole face relax. Let your jaw especially relax. And maybe one more each direction. And bring yourself back to center. Release your arms, palms up or down for Shavasana. If you're lying down, you can support the thighs, of course. Add whatever you need to be cozy, a blanket or some socks, whatever you want. No more work to be done. Just allow yourself to surrender and rest. If you would like to rest longer, please do. Give yourself that gift. Otherwise, we'll deepen the breath, inhaling and exhaling, filling up. Invite some gentle movement, fingers and toes. And maybe you'll reach your arms up and over and stretch in any way that feels good. Maybe a big yawn, or fake or real. And then you'll bend your knees and make your way onto one side, fetal pose. The pose of new beginnings. So we start new from right now, this moment after our practice. And come up to sit. Bring your hands to touch in front of your heart. You can bow your head in. And again, thank yourself for showing up, for moving, for breathing. And I thank each and every one of you for showing up. It's a nice community this evening. Take great care of yourselves. Namaste.